The following video is brought to you by T. Alan Diaz's Lunatic City series. Take a walk on the dark side of the moon with the first installment of this gritty sci-fi noir for just 99 cents. Link in the description below.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
6 years ago today, Disney announced that it bought Lucasfilm for $4 billion, and every day since has been the worst possible day to be a Star Wars fan. They say if something works, you keep doing it until it doesn't, and Star Wars has reached that point. Well, to be fair, it reached that point about 3 years ago, but for some reason they just keep trying the same shit and expecting fans to buy it. There's a rumor rolling around that yet another superweapon will be entering the Star Wars universe. Prepare for Death Star version 4, complete with USB 3.0, HDMI hookups, and voice command. Just call out OK Google and pick the planet you want to destroy. This comes from ScreenRant.com. Why Star Wars 9 needs to include another Death Star. Star Wars Episode 9 may be another film in the franchise featuring a superweapon, out of necessity given director J.J. Abrams' plan. After kicking off the sequel trilogy a few years ago with The Force Awakens, Abrams is back to finish what he started with Episode 9 and its production. In typical Lucasfilm fashion, plot details are being firmly kept under wraps, though the studio has been transparent about certain key aspects. After the passing of Carrie Fisher, many fans wondered how, or if, General Leia Organa would factor into Star Wars 9, and as filming started, Lucasfilm announced old footage of the actors from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi would be repurposed. While it's great that Leia will help end the story she began more than 4 decades ago, there are still lingering questions that need to be answered. Obviously, when Abrams and Rian Johnson shot those aforementioned scenes for their earlier movies, they were never intending for them to be used down the road after the Star Wars family was hit by a tragedy. In all likelihood, Abrams would not have gone down this route if he wasn't 100% confident in the idea, but it'll nevertheless be interesting to see what they come up with. And based on what he has to work with, an infamous series trope might make its return, but not the way fans should think. There's a new Episode 9 rumor going around suggesting Kylo Ren is going to be overseeing the construction of a new superweapon for the First Order, which brings to mind Return of the Jedi parallels which viewers are already making jokes about. However, there's nothing concrete to back this speculation up, as there's only a handful of set photos from Star Wars available to the public. While it's questionable the villains have a new big gun, the rumor might not be far off. The Resistance may be building something for themselves. Prior to the release of The Force Awakens, there was a plot leak eerily close to what the finished film resembled. A chief thread that wasn't even mentioned was the Resistance having superweapons of their own called the Warhammer, which would cut right through Star Destroyers. If old Episode 7 footage of Fisher is being recycled, then chances are Abrams is going to revisit the development. The wizards at Lucasfilm are definitely capable of manipulating Fisher's deleted scenes and changing their context, but there are probably some limitations they have to contend with. Leia's Episode 9 arc will likely be written with the cut footage in mind, which would make it easier to include in the movie. Odds are Leia and the Warhammer wouldn't have huge roles, but they'll still factor in some capacity. Some fans might roll their eyes using yet another massive weapon in Star Wars, but the Warhammer wouldn't be a total retread of previous movies. There's never been an instant where the heroes are the ones with the super weapon. They're usually the ones stealing the Death Star plans and blowing stuff up. So in that sense, the Warhammer could be a fascinating angle, if executed properly, particularly in regards to the themes. The Resistance is eager to win a war, but how far would Leia be willing to go? Unleashing a powerful weapon to turn the tide is a move out of the Empire's playbook, though desperate times do call for desperate measures. In all seriousness, this is rather disappointing because the biggest complaint people have about Return of the Jedi is how it essentially becomes a New Hope at the end. People chastise it for its lack of originality and the Ewoks. It makes me wonder why Disney is going with this approach. Is this some sort of attempt to hit us in the feels and make us blindly accept their crappy retreads? They did that back in 2015, and while it worked once, well, it only worked once. We've seen that steep decline in fan morale. Be it from films not delivering or fans being attacked, Star Wars chose the wrong path, and this is so disappointing. Like I said, this won't work because people aren't enamored with Return of the Jedi the way they are in New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, which is justified on their part. It's a dip in quality compared to the other two. Does J.J. Abrams think that nostalgia is so powerful that his lack of a script and originality will bring in billions of dollars? You know what they say, fool us once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fuck you, JJ. This news does not excite me at all, nor does it piss me off, but what it does do is make me eye roll harder than Tony Stark when I read more shill articles trying to defend this crap. Let DC try to remake the same movie, and it's a damn nightmare scenario. Let Disney remake Star Wars, reboot Pirates of the Caribbean, or Spider-Man, and these writers come running on their knees, ready to service Big Daddy Disney. The double standard in entertainment journalism is real. I don't know if it stems from fear or something else, but Disney's decisions are reported on as the second coming, and it just makes me not trust the media. So that's it for today. What did you think? Return of the Jedi had a payoff with a cliffhanger from The Empire Strikes Back, but I gotta ask, what does Episode 9 resolve from Episode 8? Answer, nothing. There was nothing left. The movie is nothing and left nothing to be hyped. These writers can constantly go on about Rian Johnson's trilogy or the Game of Thrones trilogy, but they can never discuss what this current saga is lacking, a story. But another superweapon is the last thing we need. We've seen a jungle planet, there's probably going to be some sort of speeder chase, and now a super weapon. So I'm expecting the Emperor to come back. Oh wait, we had Snoke. Well, I'm expecting a throne room duel. Oh wait, we had that in episode 8. You see, they borrow. Historically, George Lucas always borrowed from other sources, but now Star Wars borrows from itself. And while you can't really plagiarize from yourself, you can become boring and repetitive, and that's what these movies have done. So for the 1,000,001 ideas out there that they could do, they could borrow, or they could just straight up take from expanded universe stuff or all these other sources, they decided to just rip off Return of the Jedi. Hell, it would be more original to borrow something from the prequels at this point. Well, wait till the next series of films come out, because believe me, they can't make anything on their own, so they gotta milk those movies too. But what do you think? That's the question I have right now. What do you guys think of this news? This was early morning information that I found, and I just got up and I went, ugh, god damn it. It doesn't make me happy ever to read about what these movies are doing, but it makes me laugh, and it makes me anxious for next December, because if some of these rumors turn out, we're going to have a shit show on our hands of epic proportions. So before we go, I'd like you to like this video, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more World Class Bullshitters content. We've been coming out with more videos like you guys requested, so just help us spread the word, share it. Even if you have one social media follower, just spread it, and that's going to help us grow. So we'd like to thank everyone that has helped us grow. If you're a super fan of this channel, join our Patreon page. $1 a month goes a long way. $5, which is only 17 cents a day, gets you even more access to more exclusive content. And down the road, that is how you're going to have access to our Discord server. So if you want to be a part of that, join our Patreon page. But I'll be back tomorrow with another video, something really big, really exciting, and I can't wait to talk about that. So until then, folks, thank you for watching, and have a good day.